Please, please, please stop setting goals. Okay, Chris, you got a Motivational Monday going, you're telling me to stop setting my goals. Well, it's cool if you set goals. I love goals. But since 2015, when I ran into Dr. Joe Vitale, and when I say I ran into him, I didn't run him in the street. I flew out to his house. We had dinner together. And since that day, certain things that came out of the conversation, it wasn't stop setting goals, Chris, but certain things that came out of the conversation led me to think differently about how I set up my year, how I set up my days, how I set up the whole discipline that I'm on, or the protocol that I'm on. Just setting goals, let me quantify what I said. Just setting goals doesn't ensure new results. It doesn't. It makes you feel good, but it doesn't. So as an example, let's do a gut check here. I don't know when it is that you're watching this, but it doesn't matter. Anywhere in your calendar year, right now, stop and say, I've completed X amount of months in this year. Doesn't matter. You could be watching this 5 years from now. I've completed this many months in this year, therefore X percent of the year is gone. So if it's June, for example, okay, 50% of my year is gone. Am I 50% of the way to the goals I set in January? I'll tell you that if you can Google the stat, it's not me being negative. Statistically, you're probably off. So what does that tell you? There could be a different way, perhaps, maybe. So if you set some goals, how can you assure yourself that those get accomplished? Still set them, okay? Instead, though, add to it setting new habits, setting new rituals, setting new daily disciplines, monthly, quarterly, whatever works for you, but it's going to start with daily. That will then ensure your result. Let me give you a great example in something we created years ago, like 1995. So I'm dating myself a bit. I was in a mastermind group. The importance of masterminds cannot be understated. The importance of hanging out with the right people cannot be understated. I was in a mastermind group. At the time, I had my realtor hat on. I did that for 5 aggressive years before selling my company. And in that group, we all did 100 plus homes a year. So it was a pretty cool group. And each week, one of us had to bring something to the mastermind. There was a topic. And this topic came up. And Mike in Florida, who still is in business, and I understand does over 250 deals a year, so he's done well. He said, hey guys, I got something real simple. We're all setting goals. Everybody does it. Yeah, it's fun. But then I feel like we're getting to the half year and to the year end and going, I missed it by X amount. He said, why don't we just do this? Why don't we just set up a new daily discipline, a new ritual, you call it whatever you want, a routine, and why don't we then chart those dailies that we know for certain will get us to the end result we want. So for example, back then, and you can even relate this to our terms business now, if we know we want X amount of deals by year end, you can do this personally too. I'm just giving you an example that has metrics. And we know, because we track, that if we speak to X amount of sellers, we can get to that goal. Like it's said certain. Okay, good. So then put that on a daily chart that then gets checked off from a personal accountability standpoint. In this case, we use the group to hold each other accountable. I think there was 4 of us. And so we developed what's called the power of daily discipline, the power of 1 daily discipline. It's in our academy. It's in our QLS course. Since that year, 30 some odd years ago, we use that daily discipline chart. You can put things on there like working out personally, habits with your spouse, etc. If we just win each day, was Mike's point, we can win the year. And it wasn't by setting a goal. It was by setting a goal and then backing it down to what's needed on a daily basis. Now, I will say, as I wrap up this thought, what if you don't? What's the end result if you don't do this? This exercise, by the way, can't take you more than inside of an hour. It could take some of you 20 minutes. But it could change entirely how you operate daily, which will change entirely what you accomplish by year end. So I encourage you to do that gut check. I encourage you to go ahead and download, if you're in our academy. If you're not, you should be. But download that Power of 1 daily discipline chart. And if not, for goodness sakes, create your own. Putting the daily things that you know will get you to your goal and you holding you accountable to checking that off each day. There's something powerful about you having to check that off each night. And if you want to add some accountability to that, have your kids or spouse Be part of that. Have them ask you when you get home from the office or when you walk out of your home office, hey, did you do the chart? Let me see the chart. It's fun for you to do and it'll change your life. Make it a great week.